So what if our best ideas did not come from ourselves, but they actually come from a higher place? They actually come from something way stronger than any freaking idea that we could ever have on our own. What if we actually get our best ideas from the Holy freaking Spirit? So I was listening to this podcast with Pharrell Williams and Rick Rubin, who's a producer. I'm sure you already know Pharrell Williams. And they were talking about why most of the greatest stuff, a lot of the great stuff, like musicians, singers, all this stuff, they come from the church. And Pharrell mentions that he thinks it's because of the fact that it might be that they're tapped into something higher, something bigger, which is the Holy Spirit. They're tapped into the Spirit, and the energy of the Spirit is what gives them the ability to create. Kanye, Pharrell, they are people who are able to they went to church, they know God, and they're able to tap into that. So what if that's how we actually create our best stuff? As creatives, what if getting closer to God and getting closer overall is going to be the thing that gives us the best actual creation that we can make right now and in the future as we get closer and closer? So even Michael Jackson mentioned his idea for getting Billie Jean. Billie Jean is one of his biggest freaking songs ever. And they asked him, how did you get this idea? How did you come up with this? And he says, sometimes it's just something up above. He points up to the sky and he's like, sometimes it just happens. Sometimes you're getting gifted this idea. He said he was just driving, and all of a sudden he hears one thing, he hears another thing, and boom, Billie Jean comes out of nowhere. You can't put that into words. You can't put that into words of hey, I got this idea because of this, this, and this. So he understands, Pharrell understands that sometimes it's just something higher up. But why don't we understand that sometimes, man? Being able to get these ideas doesn't always come from ourselves. Doesn't always come from something that we can do or we sit and we think about it enough. Sometimes we're just going, and you get that random idea. What's that freaking idea that you had that came out of freaking nowhere, and all of a sudden you feel like, oh my gosh, this is just breaking me through? What if we could just trust a little more? But how do we get in touch with that Spirit? How do we get in touch with that Holy Spirit to be able to get these ideas, to be able to get this freedom? I think it might be two things. Number one, creating for the approval of God, not for the approval of anybody else. When you create from that place, all of a sudden you're not worrying about, okay, I think these people are going to need this. These people are going to need this. It's creating from such a pure place that everything is open up. Every freaking door is open up. You could do anything that you freaking want because you're creating for God. And if you're creating for God, it's about asking yourself what you think that He wants you to do. You want His freaking approval, so you're going to go out there and you're going to create the best thing possible. Am I right? So right now, if you were creating something for God, whatever you're freaking doing, what would it be? What would that little tweak be? Hey, if I wanted to create something just solely for God, and I'm not saying it has to be everything, man, because of course you got to make some money. You got to be able to do that. If you want to do that, that's completely fine. But if you were to create one project on the side, you're like, hey, I want to create this just for God's approval. What would that look like? If you stop putting limits on yourself, you're just like, okay, I'm going to totally go out there and do something crazy. What would that look like, man? If it was going to be something that was just so pure, it's probably going to be things that you really freaking connect with, that you're like, I want to give this to the freaking world. What if we could start creating from that place a lot more, man? What if we could start creating from that place all the time? All of a sudden, it's this different type of energy, this different type of vibration that we go into creating our stuff with. So I just wanted to introduce this to you because I think the second part also, let me go to that first before I finish this video. The second part also, I think, is being able to create with that freedom. With that full freedom of hey, I don't want to stop myself. I don't want to stop myself from doing any of this stuff. I just want to go out there and freaking create as much as I can, because this freedom is something that you have to work your way up to, man. It's definitely something you got to work your way up to. And I think the more that we can do that, the more that we can try to be able to create from this place of freedom. And then the more that we start to get in touch with this Holy Spirit that's going to allow us to. Because also, something else we got to do is get closer to God, okay? My bad, I missed out on that one totally. But we got to get closer to God. That's the number one thing. The closer we get to God, the more that we are trusting in Him. The more that our confidence is in Him and not in whatever the frick we're creating. If we can understand that the thing that we're creating right now might get absolutely demolished and might not be here tomorrow, and we are okay with that, then we can just go out there and create as best as we can, create whatever we want, make as many mistakes as we want, and then whatever comes with that comes with that. So I just want to encourage you guys to be able to create from this place today. What are you going to create? If you were to create for God, what would that be today? Let me know down below. I love you guys. Hope you have an amazing day, week. Peace.